start. Okay, we are live on YouTube. Excellent. Thanks everyone for joining another episode of the OpenJS Foundation's Cross Project Council meeting. Oh, thanks, Ben. You sent me the code there. Great. Today is May 13th, and let's get things started. Do we have any announcements?
Other than JSConf is going to be a lot of fun. Buy your tickets now. If you're an active OpenJS maintainer, hit us up. We'll be having maintainer discount codes coming at you again. CFP's closed on Sunday, day before yesterday. So lots of great CFPs that come through. We have a program meeting tomorrow, but our program committee will be reviewing those, and we'll probably announce, I can't remember what the schedule is, probably in a month on the schedule.
Great. Wes, you got an announcement?
Yeah, we've got a few new working groups on Express that I just wanted to call out in case folks were interested. And one of them has got its first meeting tomorrow. So the performance working group is the one that's starting up tomorrow, but we also have a security working group. We're going to be starting up hopefully a TypeScript working group, and I'm missing one more. So if anybody's interested in that kind of work, feel free to reach out and we can get you links. They're not all showing up on the OpenJS calendar just yet. We've got to work out, I think, because we made them in the portal, like they have to be made under the OpenJS project. I don't know what it is, but since they weren't showing up there, I just wanted to mention them here so that folks knew they existed.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I'm glad to see all the progress that's been happening there, all the movement. It's really great. Excellent. Robin, you mentioned something before we started streaming. I don't know if you want to highlight the recent Data Viz demo or anything like that. Share more about that to get folks interested.
Well, maybe just about the collaboration space. We have an open visualization collaboration space. Yeah, someone demoed a project that was kind of so I would say it's more than a work in progress. It's not a project yet, but that's on our public calendar. We have folks from the Open Viz space, Kita from Cosmos and Julia from GeoDA, University of Chicago. But if you're interested in open visualization, we even have a website for that collaboration space, openvisualization.org. You can see those projects, a lot of cool things. And I think it looks, I think it's more accessible from a technology perspective than it looks. So.
Great. Yeah, and I don't think the stream would have the chat, so I'll just highlight that I think the demo is A5, the letter A, the number 5, and then geo.org. So check that out and join the collaboration space if that's of interest to you. Great. Any other announcements before we get into the agenda? If not, then I will take a look at where we're at here. Excuse me. Okay, next on the list here is any board meeting updates? I guess I'm on the board, so I should be able to answer that, but I don't know of any updates to share.
Yeah, our board meetings are the fourth Fridays of the month. So
Okay.
if you have something you want discussed, I know our CPC reps, Joe, Toby, and Mateo will bring things to the private session and the public session. So, and then we'll report out.
Yep. And I think we're going to try to start
sharing the slides. Yep.
Yeah, so all right, look for more next in a couple weeks. Excuse me. I'm going to bounce through the staff updates lists of things here. The first one is loopback, which is on my plate. I don't know, but yeah, I don't have anything to say about that. I will try to get progress on that at some point. But the other three labels don't have any open issues, it looks like, so that's good. Excuse me. So I will move on to the agenda. The first item here is something that came out of our working session last week. Basically, this is a pull request to document decision-making process. Just a little bit more here. In the Code of Conduct Team Charter. This is pull request 1463. And looks like we have a bunch of approvals here. And some work on it, which is great. I guess, if folks have time, they should take a look and put your thumb on there or add any comments, and we'll keep that moving forward. Been making great progress on the code of conduct work. Let's see. Next on the list here is what version of the contributor covenant should we use? Yes, I'm gonna check the timeline of the when version 3 will be out of the contributors covenant code of conduct, which is what we use and a lot of other open source projects use. We did have a meeting last week to kind of discuss some of the thoughts that we had when we reviewed it in the last meeting. The team was very receptive. We had a really good conversation. Michael Dawson and Chris Almeida were both in the call as well. And yeah, it was a good conversation. They were taking some input from us, and so I think they'll incorporate that. It seemed like we're not too far from that being done, but I'll try to check back with the team and get a timeline on that. Feel free to chime in if you have any questions or comments. Otherwise, I will keep moving on. The next item is 1425. Proposal to add a services.md or similar documentation to OpenJS projects. I feel like this has been talked about some, and Ben, I see you have a comment on this issue from 6 minutes ago, so I will give you the mic.
Yeah, I wanted to capture this. We did talk about in the security working group the week before last, and so we're just waiting on a written recommendation from Rudd that we'll bring back to this group. So hopefully that next week.
Great, that'll be helpful. Excellent. Then I will continue moving on. The next item is the issue that Michaela very helpfully put together around the code of conduct remaining items and our plan of action. I think that updating the contributor covenant is a part of this, which is basically on hold until till the new one is released. There's another item here, the third item, move the code of conduct to a .github repo. Which is something that we actually advise in our code of conduct guidance. So that's something I think that we should probably do and figure out what that looks like, what the changes would be, and any issues along with that. But the main thing is the first item, which is issue 1255. This is all around basically we need to go through the list of projects that are in the description of this issue and make sure that they essentially abide by the checklist that exists in where is it? So my last comment from a week ago has this kind of summarized. 1 second.
Essentially rolling it out to the projects, yeah.
Yeah, the delegation
Yeah.
of projects.
And I had an older inventory. Kate has been working very diligently, doing an inventory as well. So we will develop a plan to help communicate that and cascade it to the projects once we figure out where it lands.
Okay, great.
Okay.
I almost wonder if we should have just a new issue for that and kind of clean
Probably
up.
a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can clean up some of these lingering code of conduct process issues. I feel like I'll just summarize in saying that we've been working on code of conduct related aspects for a long time. And I feel like we're really at the final stages here of just kind of cleaning up and some kind of remaining items, and then making sure that that the projects and everything are all kind of abiding by how we've laid things out. So really close. I think we could probably clean up some of the issues that we have here and make them more concise and clear and know where we're going. But I think we're at the final stages of that really long ongoing effort. So that'll be good. Anybody have any questions or comments on any of that stuff, the code of conduct related activities? If not, I will keep moving on. The next item is the 1387 issue, health check on native script TSC charter. I feel like Toby spoke to them, but I can't remember what came out of that. And let me see, there might have been another native script. Yeah, there's another native script issue here. So let me see if that one was updated. Nope. Okay, so we may be waiting on I'll prod Toby to drop a comment in either of these if he has any updates. Otherwise, we will try to make progress on those in the interim. So that's the next two items on the agenda. And the one after that is 1355. This is the continuity policy and package registries. This is also waiting on RUD. I see, Ben, you dropped that comment in there. Okay, good enough. We look forward to more guidance and suggestions from RUD, who is a very helpful contributor to the work that we do. And then, so this is the last item on the agenda here is the issue that I was referencing before about updating onboarding and post-graduation checklists for a number of projects for the code of conduct, guidance and policies. So I've had a lot of coffee this morning, and we kind of just blazed right through the agenda, which I think is never a bad thing. The last thing that we would need to do here is talk about what we want to do for the next CPC working session. Does anybody have anything that they think should be worked on? And while I wait for any responses, I know we have a label for this topic. Where is it? Working CPC working session. Filter by label. So code of conduct, migrate project status repo. Let me drop the link to this. Hang on. Drop a link to this list of issues. The match repository structure to README process and policy section. This is, I think, we did a bunch of work on the README for the CPC that kind of stalled. That's another thing that we could work on. I think a couple of these we may want to even revisit and potentially close to the two old ones, maybe. So yeah, anything people want to work on next week? I mean, I hate to keep doing. Sorry, Ben, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, Kate, if it would make sense to review the COC policy audit that you've done, and if there's next steps there, to kind of use the working group to figure those out.
Sure,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Sorry, go ahead, Kate.
Oh, no, just seconding that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the other things I was thinking about too, coming out of the security collaboration space, is there anything that's going to be required? Because if we're going to do this sort of sweeping outreach to the projects, I've been sort of tracking to who's missing their privacy footers, but I don't know if we've quite in our security collab space determined what's going to be mandatory or not. But
Okay. So Is that something that would be another thing that Rudd would provide, or do we need to just kind of review where things are?
Probably Rudd is definitely an input to that, but I think it would probably be the CPC who makes the final decision, because essentially what you would be doing is adding requirements for projects joining OpenJS, security requirements. So I think it's a group exercise probably.
We've tiered them as opposed, from the recommendations. So right now, the recommendations are open governance, documented, code of conduct, privacy footer, things like that. But it's pretty minimal. So
Okay.
question is, does this group want to add any other requirements?
Okay, I mean, I suppose that's something we could discuss then, or even now if we wanted to. I think it wouldn't be bad too if we were going to look at, like Bennett said, review the projects in terms of the code of conduct adherence. Could also take some time and just kind of clean up some of the remaining issues around that and really make the final tasks more clear. Get that all sorted as well. For folks who are new to kind of what we do and this meeting, we've kind of set it up so that we alternate a regular meeting like this where we go through the agenda. And then the opposite week, we have like a working session. We try to pick a topic and really dig in and make some progress, which, I think has generally been working pretty well. So, okay. Well, I mean, I guess we have a handful of things there. We'll look at project review in terms of code of conduct adherence, as well as any security items as well, and then can potentially clean things up as we go too. Great. One thing that comes to mind since we have time, well, no, never mind. Is there anything that anyone wants to talk about or work on right now? Wes?
We had two random things that came up in Express over the past few weeks. One is a partnership opportunity. And I've been looking around in the CPC docs to see if there's anything that I should have read or known about that would tell us like what to do or that kind of thing. So I just DM'd Robin and Ben about it, but I realized maybe there's like a gap there. So the partnership proposal was somebody who came to the project and said, hey, we've got some neat things. We have an example partnership with MDN. Are you interested? And we had a meeting with them and we were unclear on what we would need to do to participate in. So I just wanted to throw that out there and see if maybe there was something that we had missed.
What kind of partnership? Is it like financial? Is it infrastructure?
Yeah, that's where we probably do have a gap for any sort of strategic partnership. I know we have it on the vendor services, but anything that has a, kind of larger co-marketing revenue share really needs to come through us. We're also going to be launching a partner program sort of modeled after what the Hyperledger or Trusted in IP project has, and CNCF as well. But again, whenever there is money involved or even co-marketing, we need to have legal frameworks in place for that. So
yeah, and I think infrastructure as well too, because
totally, yeah. We had for folks who are new, our infrastructure, we had an archaeological dig of 15 years, 18 years of handshake deals with people. And it'd be a revolving door and we'd be scrambling. So we like to document those and get contracts in place.
Awesome. So sounds like we did the right thing by just DMing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Totally open. Yeah. Loop me in. I'd love to talk to him.
Yeah. And then there was one other one that I think Ulysses, maybe I feel like we talked about yesterday on our CPC call. There was something we had to follow up, or is Chris here too? Maybe. Sorry, the list goes off my screen now. I think it was maybe to do with the GitHub security program membership stuff. I was hoping to lean on them. I know we had a follow-up that
I
was
think we had a follow-up question on Monday, and Raphael gave some of his experiences on the GitHub security. You know, that they were asking for 2 people. I think that was to delegate for training and whatnot, but the money goes to the project for you to distribute as you see fit amongst however many you see fit.
that just struck my memory and reminded me of what I wanted to ask about.
Okay.
So one of the things we discussed was what we would do with that, money, and we don't really have a good plan. So we thought we would
Sorry,
ask. Oh, Chris, are
Wes,
you?
I'm gonna interject
Go
only
for it.
in the interest of time. I actually talked about this with Robin earlier. I can fill you guys in about that. So we're good with the
Yeah.
plan that we talked about. So let's just catch up on it later so we can move the CPC stuff along. Not that we don't want to rope in the CPC, but I think there was other stuff on the agenda maybe. If not, I'm happy to go into it. Sorry.
There
Well, there
isn't.
wasn't. That was why I brought it up. I waited until Joe literally was like, "Anybody got anything you want to talk about?"
Oh, okay. Well, now feel embarrassed for interrupting. Pretend I never said anything. Go
No,
ahead,
no,
Wes.
no. It sounds like you already started
Uh,
talking. I didn't know that happened, so I'm.
yeah. Okay, so to fill everybody else, all right. So let me take a step back. Express is in the fortunate position of having a little bit of cash sitting around, but it's sitting around doing nothing, which is not good. It should be doing some good. One of the things that the project has agreed to be able to use the funds for is travel. So very similar, the same reason, the same thing that the CPC or OpenJS Foundation has a community fund for travel requests. That is also a permissible use of the express funds. But we like the CPC travel fund process and would like to just use that even if we are funding the travel. So the intent there is to, if we have somebody from Express, could be, contributors or maintainers or TC members, whoever, is going to apply for some funding through for travel. And if we can foot the bill, that would be something we would like to do. And then it doesn't have to come out of the OpenJS coffers. And then they would still follow the normal, CPC travel fund approval process. But of course, you would get the thumbs up from the Express folks on the requests. And we would note that we would be able to pay for that. And so I talked to Robin about that earlier, and that seemed like that was totally fine for us to do. I don't know if there's any other comments from Robin or if Wes, if it's something I'm forgetting or leaving out or.
Yeah, and we'll figure out the best way with Kate and Ben on how to make it easy for everybody.
Awesome. See, Chris, I knew I was like, I need to lean on somebody here. We had a topic to ask about, and you had already
Yeah.
done it. So
And
great.
then just to talk about, because I had another question offline. So for JS Conf, we have 2 buckets of travel funds. You have the CPC Community Fund where you all decide. And then we have a scholarship fund set aside for folks who need it through the foundation. And there's an application and a link on the event website as well. So there's two options depending on where you sit.
Great. One thing I'll drop in the chat there is Nathan from the Native Script project. Hang on, where did it go? Nathan Walker from Native Script did open an issue 2 hours ago to review the Native Script charter. So I dropped the link to that issue in the chat. So if folks want to take a look at that, please do so. Anything else we want to discuss before we go into a private session?
No, maybe for new folks, remind folks how they can join private sessions or be a regular member.
Yeah, please. If you are not a regular member, it's very easy to become one, as long as you're kind of active in the project or in the OpenJS work. We now have a form that you can submit. We used to do it through pull requests. But now there's a form and you can find it in our, let's see, it's somewhere not too far hard to find. Like if I go to the README and I look for regular members, it says anyone who has been active in the foundation or one of its member projects as described in the CPC governance with a link to it can become a regular member. You can make request to become a regular member. And then is this the link? Nope, that's a link to the governance. Okay, so let me just drop that in here. So anyway, there is a form in that link, how to apply to become a regular member. And you just basically fill out the form, and as long as nobody says that's crazy, you can join and then be a part of some of the private decision making that happens. So when a project applies, we have the CPC members review that. We review travel fund requests. There's not a lot that you need to be a regular member for, but it's good to join, and then we don't have to kick you out when we go to a private session. The more the merrier. Great. Okay, well, with that, I will bid you all a fond adieu, and hopefully see you next time. Thanks for joining. For the folks on the stream, thanks for watching. And we'll call it a wrap and jump to a private session. Thanks.
Thank you.